let's see here. Oh shoot, do I still have?
Alright. We won't need Owlbear right away, but we might in a little bit if you just want to get it open.
Cool.
Okay. We all set for the stream?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go. Earlier today, you joined Queen Clover and her undead pixies on the warpath to destroy her father, Perrin Potts. With your help and the assistance of a device known as the Chthonic Signal Disruptor, Queen Clover successfully killed Perrin Potts and allowed her tribe to consume his body, absorbing the magical energies of all the pixie dust he had ever consumed. Afterwards, the pixies ritualistically sacrificed themselves to restore a future for their kind, allowing Queen Clover to eat them so that the combined energies of the pixie dust could transform her back into a living half-pixie. Now cured of her undead curse, she intends to kill Grammy Grins, and she has invited each of you to join her. You've discussed some ideas already, and settled on this. You need an adequate display of your prowess to convince the leaders of various groups in the Merrywood to take up arms against Grammy Grins. Creating the mighty weapon that Killen's ancestor told him about is one possible move. Another is to destroy the Knock-Knocks altogether. Perhaps you will do both. Regardless, you know that Grammy Grin's death will create a power vacuum, so you also must consider who would be a good candidate to rule the jungle in her stead. Aside from the politics of the jungle, you are all aware that if you ever want to escape the island altogether, you'll need to contact the outside world. The only current lead you have is with Thimin, the Tamper Mage, who is convinced he can invert the magical properties of the island's strange mist, thus allowing communication with your homelands. For now, most of you are asleep. Luminous's sanctuary staff restores your energy in twice the time that an ordinary night of rest would take. It also provides a well-hidden space that shrouds you from the eyes of wandering outsiders, or creatures. Luminous is deep in a dream and sleeping more soundly than he has in many nights, as calming waves comfort him. Killen and Born of the Thunder sleep as well, though not necessarily as soundly. Queen Clover remains asleep for now, remains awake for now, still energized with new life. Likewise, Osint remains awake at the moment, having just discovered how to open the cloud orb that he took from Perrin Potts' belongings. Osint, as you ponder this orb, which is about a foot in diameter, you think about the strange Argean writing in its center, presenting itself in your own native language right before your eyes by some illusory means. To empower this device, imbue your soul, it says. What is going through Osint's head?
Osin is at first amazed with himself that he remembered through all of the battle and everything else going on. He remembered the pattern and was able to figure out the rest. But for now, he's wondering how much soul he has left and what it's going to take from him, as well as if it will be worth it.
As you're pondering this thing, looking over it, running your fingers over this sort of smooth, glassy surface. Again, it's like stone, but it's very lightweight. You're considering this, thinking these things to yourself, and Queen Clover speaks quietly. It says, "You seem like someone who is in your own head about something. This device that my father used. What is it exactly?"
We believe It's called the Cloud Orb. We think it came from the cloud giants from above.
My people have not much consideration for the machinations of the large folk. I know very little about giants. Of course, my people consider your people giants. I've had a slightly different perspective, being that I am only half of a pixie.
With her saying that, Osint realizes the last word on the tablet that Luminous has. He'll keep it to himself for now, and he'll tell Luminous later. But
that's good, because Luminous has no idea what the last word is. He had something else that he was thinking about and wasn't listening.
So you know
Seems
not.
like you have... Go ahead.
You know not how your father received this orb.
I know that he was a resourceful man. He found many ways to steal very many things. That was something that he did with my mother. Invited her to a life of adventure, away from the politics of pixie life. She would open locks for him, crawling inside of larger lock devices, and taking care of the tumblers. They would go adventuring together, and there were thieves. I do know this much. I assume it is something that he took during that time. But you mentioned these things being in clouds up above, or being in the sky up above. I have no knowledge as to whether that is something they reached or not. However, my mother was capable of flight. And it seems like this device granted my father the ability to fly.
We found another device exactly like this one. Our friend Luminous has it now. I'm just wondering if it fell from the sky, if it was taken, what it means for this place. There seems to be other relics from either a past time or a fallen empire of sorts. But I feel that this is a tertiary concern with everything else we have going on. We still need to figure out how to get off this island.
I told you that Butterbell was particularly good at reading people's hearts. That is something that pixies are known to be able to do. I was never quite as good as my brethren in doing the same, but I am not unskilled in this. You strike me as somebody who values information.
Information is my trade.
Are you important to your people, your faction, of some high esteem?
Before coming here, and even in the early days of us being on this island, which was only several days ago now, although it seems like months.
Yeah, you guys have been there for approximately, like, maybe a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah. I was
Feels like years. A lifetime of experiences.
I was the advisor to the Royals of the Seekers of Cryptus, faction you probably have not heard of. However, when we came here, people of the other worlds that came here together put aside factions, and I do not consider myself associated with such seekers of Cryptus, but rather this community as a whole, and these people we have here with us now.
Curious thing indeed. I'm interested to know more of your people, but I'm sure if we are going to this place where you are collected, I will observe and learn more for myself with my own eyes and ears. You must be either very intelligent or very wise to be in the position of advisor to your people. However, you say that it is information that you are interested in. It is information that you gather so that you can use it to your advantages and the advantages of your people, I assume. So is it that you are wise? Is it that you are intelligent? Or is it that you are informed? Which of these is your strength?
Osa sits and thinks about that for a second.
Got it.
You must have a powerful network of informants.
Most information I've gathered on my own, save for a confidant that I, until recently, has had for a long time. But
Just
also,
one.
yes.
And you're suggesting they are no longer with you.
I'm not sure where he's run off to. His loyalties
predicament.
slipped very quickly when things changed.
So when you return to your people and you no longer have access to information in the way that you did before, aside from what you collect yourself, are you truly an advisor or are you just a scout?
I have only the wisdom that I have up until this point. I must adjust accordingly.
I appreciate your honesty. I'm curious to see these dynamics between you and these people that you serve, this community, as it has grown, and you apparently are in the time where you need to decide what you are going to do and with whom. It seems we have all found ourselves in new situations. But get your rest. I have plenty of energy. It was as if I have been born for the first time. I will take watch.
Thank you.
No. As you get your rest, you all wake up around the break of day because of the shortened amount of time it takes for you to rest. The sun is not directly visible, but light spreads through the mist above, giving some relief from the darkness. And you know that soon you will be headed out to your encampment at the cave, or wherever else you would like to travel. For now, you have a little time to eat your rations and prepare for your journey. So each of you, I'll start with both Luminous and Killen in whatever order you want, and then Osin can answer next. Tell me exactly what each of you were doing this morning before heading out.
Go ahead, Killian.
Having been the first morning that I have spent being able to experience the sunrise, I am participating in my typical meditative ritual. So I have been up for a little while already. Sorry, I've been coughing all day, so bear with me. So I've been up for a little while, and I am doing something that looks like it could be yoga, but
Deer yoga.
Yeah, deer yoga. But it involves, my war scythe and stuff. So, um, lots of Tai Chi type movements, and then running back and forth, and my woo 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 kind of thing, hyping myself up for the day. Um, but I also am being observant of Born of the Thunder, who is still emotional about his recent experience. So after I complete my ritual of running around and going through different battle stances and such, I go to eat breakfast with Born of the Thunder.
To join him eating the rations that you guys have just sort of, we assume you've collected or had or have gotten somehow over time. He says, "It's good to see you. Sticking by your old ways and continuing to do familiar things."
It feels necessary. This has been a frustrating and bizarre few days. Today is the first day in several days that I have woken up either not in a cave or having spent all night fighting monsters. I feel the need to realign myself in some way, or I don't know what will become of me. I have been tired and emotional, and I just need to get my mind back in a better place. How are you feeling this morning?
I can say the very same thing. What you describe as getting your mind in the right place is wise. I feel as if it's the entirety of my soul and my spirit that I need realigned. Not sure, just with the nature of my magic being gone, if that even makes sense to say, though. I've always assumed that the thing that makes me what I am is tied to the magic altogether. I was born of the storm of a thunderbird's wings, as all people like me are. So I thought that was where my life was. But with that being taken away, there must be clearly some basis of something else. I don't know exactly what I am right now, but I think that once we get back to our people, I need to see if I can have a talk with my ancestor, if at all possible. Though I wonder if that will even be accessible to me anymore.
I cannot imagine what you're going through, but I certainly felt fear of something like it over the last few days. When the deceit demon made me believe that I would lose the strength of my legs again. I have built a life off of the gift that I was given, and I couldn't bear to see myself as anything less than what I've become. So in some small way, I think I can imagine what your feelings are, but it's something I don't enjoy thinking about.
It's understandable. And I think I'm thinking about it enough for the both of us regardless. I have a lot more thinking yet to do. But I do think I look forward to knowing when the doing starts, whatever that doing might be. I will need to seek counsel from Speaks to the Mountain. See what she thinks.
I look forward to speaking with my own ancestors again soon as well. I've felt things recently that and been faced with things that are new to me, and I've had to face things that I've done, and this is not a position I've been in often, but one that I know I need to grow from.
Apparently there is no growth and change like the kind that this island can provide. But I cannot wait to be off of this.
This island sucks, bro.
Word. As you talk and continue your meal and get ready for the day, you do see that Queen Clover is nearby, just observing everything, and with her clearly fayish ears, you know that they're well known. There's this sort of stereotype in the world that the longer your ears, the better you hear, and it's you kind of wonder if that's true for her as well. But Luminous, what are you doing?
So Luminous tried to sleep in as long as possible because he's just exhausted from the whole situation. He didn't get to sleep in too much. He hasn't been able to sleep very well, like most people have on the island. Heard some whoop whoops from Killian, so he got up and watched what he was doing, and noticed that his tribal like stretches and all of that for the sun is very similar to what he calls yoga. And he decided as a Jinzir that he was going to do some yoga. And so he decided he was going to stretch, and then decided he was going to try to meditate for a little bit, just to try to understand what he's gone through the last several days, and have to try to have a better understanding of the choices he made and whether or not they were the right decisions or not, and then try to make at peace with those decisions.
Okay. As you end up doing your
it's mostly
yoga,
it's mostly the downward dog and cat pose.
Okay. So, seeing this being something that you're doing out here, as you look over at one point and you're stretching your neck, Queen Clover seems very fascinated by this, and eventually when you're done with everything and you're getting ready to go and you're done stretching and moving, she does come closer and says, "Is it customary for all the warriors of your people to do such practices with their body?"
Some, but not all. I wouldn't call myself a warrior per se.
From
More of a adventurer.
From what Butterbell said, you were quite effective in attacking the creature built by the scientists.
You have to do what you have to do, but doesn't mean it's my intention to hurt everything that's out there, unless it has to be done, unfortunately.
You regret harming things?
In my past, yes.
Even those things that are trying to kill you?
Not necessarily.
Curious. So, if a warrior is someone who fights, who goes to war, who goes to battle, but you are not satisfied with that title, you call yourself an adventurer, have you enjoyed this adventure you have been on?
It's had some pros and cons. Some have been what I was looking for, and others are not the most exciting thing or enjoyable thing to go through. to say the least.
What has been the worst part?
Well, watching a lot of people die that I got to know on the island. That's not great. Those knock-knock things are pretty awful. Seeing a mirrored version of him and pointing out the killing and having to fight that thing, that wasn't fun. Having to help him and watch what he had to go through, pointing at, I guess, Born of the Thunder, but whatever his new name is, Tyrannus. Not sure what he's going through with. He looked like he was about to die yesterday, pointing at Osen. Just, yeah. Luminous is getting really deep into his emotions right now.
You are bothered by the thought that the people that you care for and travel with might come to harm.
I would say yes. They've become, to me, they become friends, because usually you become friends through experiences together, and we've had to survive together, and I don't know what else makes you close besides those kind of experiences.
You're a bit of an enigma, aren't you? You can think
So
more deeply than you allow people to think you can.
So I've been told. I think it's a defense mechanism. At least that's what my parents always said.
And where are your parents now?
It's a great question. I don't know. I haven't seen them in years. When I went off to do my studies, when I finished to do my schooling, they went to another country, and I haven't seen them since.
So you are here because you decided to pursue adventure?
To an extent, yes. I caused one of my very dear close friends an injury that magic can fix, and so I've been on this island looking for something to try to help reverse that injury and make her what she once was.
Well, perhaps my people are very different than yours, but we define what a person is by the choices they make. Not only the choices they make, but why they make those choices. You claim that you are more of an adventurer than a warrior, and yet an adventurer goes on adventures for their own gain. A warrior runs into hell for the benefit of those that they care about. Perhaps you're more of a warrior than you think you are.
Luminous pauses and thinks for a little bit, looking off in the distance, thinking about what was just said to him, and then just looks back and just says, "Touche."
Well, you are all very different than what I expected. And as she's finishing this, you all sort of hear this slight little noise from the woods. And Queen Clover looks over, and you see a tiny little child undead pixie, who pops up behind a leaf. Queen Clover sighs. I wondered if you had come to find us, little one. Little Clover flies forward very nervously.
Queen Clover?
Yes, child. Fear not my different appearance. Other than this new life within me, I am the same.
Where is everybody?
They are here. She puts her hand over her own heart. And they are here. She puts her finger over little Clover's heart.
Are you coming back home now?
No, little one. And I am afraid that you cannot return there either. But I am proud of you for defending our hives. You have done a great service for your people, and you have done a great service for me.
Oh, where will you go now?
Where I go, you cannot follow. But your queen goes to war.
Oh. Is it time for my rite?
And the queen grows very quiet. Yes, child. You must do what all young pixies do and survive the wilderness on your own. Prove you're a survivor and warrior, as I know that you can. I know that you will be. And as she's saying this, you can already sense, now that she has flesh and facial expressions, they kind of betray her, and there is clearly not a lot of confidence that that is what's going to happen.
I don't think I'm ready for that.
I'm going to speak to you plainly, little one. It is the way of this world that undead creatures are not welcome among the living. I wish it were not so, but hiding the truth from you is a cruelty. I am sorry. There is no place for you, other than what you will create for yourself.
Am I gonna become like one of the mindless ones?
If you are strong, perhaps you will not. Go, complete your rite, and if you are able to maintain your mind and body, find me again. And little Clover, even with her undead flesh, seems like she's in a terrible state from this. Not prepared at all. This is a very traumatic thing for her to be experiencing. Of course, you all do know that, at least in your experiences here, you actually do have an undead person with your group. So if you would like to make a decision to interfere in this process or allow little Clover to do what is tradition for her people, you might have an opportunity to intercede with this situation, depending on what you would like to do here.
Gonna send your daughter off to die, Harris?
I mean,
The woods
honestly,
by herself.
I trust Skylar in the woods by herself. If any of my kids could make it, it's her.
That's awesome.
To be totally honest, I think she's the one that could do it.
That's awesome.
You must go now.
I don't know. I mean, the undead person in our party is of y'all's group. I don't know her. What can make that say? So
Osint just kind of assumes that if we couldn't save Butterbell from the rites and rituals for all that he did for the hive, that there's no reasoning in this situation.
All right. Any thoughts, Luminous?
I want to like give her something to help her, but I don't really have anything that I know that would be all that helpful.
I
have a throwing knife I can give her.
I
It's
go up
bigger
to
than
her.
It is.
How big is how big are the poison stingers?
Yeah, they're pretty large, so they'd be about the size that she is.
Ah,
She's like
okay.
if most of our people as adults are like 6 inches tall, she is like
I give her my
closer to
giant
4.
gardener's scythe.
Man. Yeah, I don't know what to give her. Maybe a pat on the back and say, "You got this." I don't know. Words of encouragement.
All right. So as you,
Like, how big is gold in this society? About what the size of the actual coin?
Size of her.
it'd be a pretty hefty thing for her to carry around.
She doesn't need gold. She's an undead pixie.
She's
not gonna go down to the shop.
I turn to Queen Clover and
I have no idea.
Is there no blessing that we can give this little one as she goes on her way? She is
She'll look over.
I don't know your rights and your rituals, but she seems young for this burden. Is there some way that we can help her along her way?
I will be frank with everyone here, and Little Clover, you shall listen as well. You will likely never face a moment where you are not undead. You are constantly at risk of slipping into your mindlessness that comes for our people, unless somehow through your tenacity you find an alternative way. To speak to your question, Gillen, I know of nothing we can give save for what all the pixies in my clan must do, which is to grow and survive in the wilderness. If we do not allow her this right, even if she does somehow survive undeath and is restored from undeath, she will not have access to a fundamental part of pixidom, because the sacred connections in our bloodline, our spirit lines, would be broken. If it were not for the fact that anybody that we would encounter along the way would see her be filled with fear and worry and hostility, maybe that would be a different situation. But this is no fault of yours, little one. This is the fault of the man that we have killed. You have been avenged before your time. That is the only blessing that I can give you.
Your Highness, I am not extremely familiar with the undead. Can you explain what you mean by the risk of losing her mind?
Bodies rot slowly for creatures such as my people as you saw them, including parts of the mind that are connected to the way that spirit is influenced. The mind, my people believe, is the bridge between the spirit and the body. But as the body deteriorates, so does it have an impact on the spirit, which darkens, becomes something entirely different. That means that over time she will become frenzied, attacking anything, like a rabid animal.
I call over, unless he's standing here already, Born of the Thunder.
He's near.
Okay. My friend, Born of the Thunder, is one of our great shamans. Tyrannus, do you have some wisdom or teaching to give this young pixie to help her keep her spirit strong?
He looks at her closely and sees that there would surely be tears in this young pixie's eyes if she had tear ducts. And he says, Queen, if you don't mind me saying, it sounds like you are convinced that there is no hope for a future of any kind for her. The things that you say you would deny are still, it would still yet better be that she lives and experiences what she can. Butterbell we saw, he was clinging to joy and good things, and he thought that that was the reason that he did not rot. Perhaps if we did the same with Little Clover and allowed her to come along, she could have This abandonment of this right, yes. But she would live in a way that, no, not quite life, but not quite death. She could live still in that regard. I will, if it suits you, Queen, I will take her under my charge. If that seems suitable to you, I will allow it. Little Clover, this man, born of the thunder, he will be your mentor, and you will be under his charge. You are his ward. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Very well. And he nods and looks to her and says, "You know, not very long ago I had wings too. Perhaps you can teach me a bit and tell me what it's like to fly as we go from place to place. Come with me and I will do everything I can to protect you. But it's a bit of a long name that she gave you. Just call me Tyrannus. That is my name now." Okay. So, also just as a storyteller, I did not expect that to be the way that that was going to work out, but yeah, okay.
I took an opportunity to do something.
Yeah, I like it because I already know where your mind is going with some stuff. So, all right, I'm gonna write down. Nope.
And you were saying a couple of key words, and I wasn't sure if you were like giving me the layup or not. So.
All right, let me write a note here. So he's gonna take Little Clover under his wing. Okay. All right. So, are you guys prepared to move onward and go back to the cave encampment?
Yes. Before we do, though, I pull Osen aside. I want to apologize to you for my behavior and my words when whoever it was came through the portal you created. I was under an immense amount of stress and exhaustion. I may have misinterpreted your words and your task, that you were bringing a bad person to us and that you only had to bring her through and that she was a monster that could be dealt with once she was through. I still am not sure what to do with that situation, but perhaps I was acting rashly, and I don't want that to come between us. I have grown to respect you greatly as a leader, and while I have questions about what happened, I don't want this group to fall apart because of it.
I do appreciate your apology, although I do not find it necessary. It was just as surprising to me when she came through and was not what I expected. And I still don't know what to do with that information. Something we're going to have to deal with when we get back to camp, I'm assuming. But I do value your friendship, and I'm glad that this will not come between us. We must figure out this entire situation together. I do feel, at this point, extremely lost. I came to this island, as you have gathered now, for her purposes and her purposes only. But when I found this group of what Luminous calls adventurers became harder and harder to serve her will when I knew it would be against all of you. So now I'm trying to find my own way. And I'm glad that you are both here with me to help me with it.
Just let us know what we can do to help, or let me know.
Am I nearby, or am I just like often like
You can
my
be
own
nearby.
little
You can be
or
nearby.
am I in
if
my
you'd
own
like.
little world like I am sometimes?
I specifically pulled him aside, so
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Gotcha.
close y'all are, but I did want this to be a somewhat private conversation.
I assume Luminous at this point went back to meditating because he's still confused on everything that's going on. And he feels like he needs to meditate. Maybe that's my own personal need of meditation, but he feels like he needs to meditate.
All right.
All right, I will be right back. My kid fell asleep in my bed, and I need to take her back to her room.
Side quest.
Okay. Well, we will say that you guys are able to move on now. I assume the encampment is still the goal at the moment. You will pass sort of by the area where you saw Mundor and everything on your way there.
Are we able to fix Mundor or at Smilden or
I guess you'll have to see.
I guess
In the meantime, do you
We're
want
gonna
to try
Sneak
to...
by Mundor and make sure he doesn't see us as we walk by.
Hey. Are you gonna? Do you want to work on your tablet for a moment while you have an opportunity here?
Sure. Hey, Osin, what do you think that last word is? Pretty stumped still.
Stumped would be a good way to go.
I don't know what you mean. Luminous at this point. He just doesn't want to do it anymore, and he just wants somebody else to do it.
Am I on the right track, storyteller?
I can't give you an affirmation or otherwise because
Fine.
I can't influence your decision here. It's a very clever thought.
Let me read over it one more time. May the peace between the children of the Titan and the children of the gods of the wee folk be everlasting. Something that's... Huh?
I was gonna say out of character for a second. I'm gonna be honest. Like my brain is not working at all. Like I am dead. I took a 4-hour nap yesterday after church, and went to bed at 10 o'clock.
That sounds so nice.
It was nice, but I woke up at
Sounds
5:15
so nice.
this morning, and I've been up since 5:15 this morning.
Dude, I love naps.
It was great, but I couldn't go back to sleep. I couldn't go back to sleep this morning, so I got up. I've been up ever since.
I wake up from a nap and I'm so angry at everything. Like I'm just...
Your blood sugar's that low.
No, I wake up and I'm so disoriented and I'm sweaty and I'm just like angry at the world
while you're sleeping.
It's terrible. And but like if I sleep at all, I just like my body gets so hot that I sweat.
Yeah. So I mull it over for a minute and I say something that's Queen Clover said to me about her people made me consider what is the only titanic being that we've seen on this island?
That giant tree thing.
Could this word not mean... Could it not be referring to that Titan?
It might be on something. The cool Titan. Pretty cool.
It was quite cool. However, could it not be the Wood Titan the Titan of the wood.
I think we tried that.
That makes sense. All these things that we were seeing. That makes so much.
Did we
more
try
sense.
that already?
I think
No.
we tried that.
I don't think we tried wood.
You tried the word good at one point, and you did see that D was not one of them. I just hadn't written that down.
So it's not
Okay.
wood titan.
I thought we tried wood because I was thinking about tree titans and such.
Regardless, it's not wood.
It's
Okay.
wool. WHOOL.
But I will allow you. I will allow you one more guess because I cannot believe that you have not guessed this word yet.
Morgan's so tired of this.
Kyle sent me a thing the other day. It was like how players react after they've spent 5 hours figuring out a 4-year-old level puzzle.
I could be
It was accurate.
I could be completely wrong, Luminous. This is the first downtime that we've all had, and I fear
Kyle,
I'm not as sharp as
when
I
I was
could
at
be.
your house, your wife suggested a word. Do you remember what that
Are you
word was?
serious?
And she got it on the first try, and you have not remembered it.
The food titan.
Your wife guessed it, and she's not even in this campaign.
Call
I showed her the thing on Tuesday when Morgan came over. Oh, what did she say?
All right, each one of you guess one word.
I am so mad right now.
Each one of you guess one word.
It should be the Wood Titan.
It's not wood.
I know, but it should be.
It's the pool titan.
The
it's a
Pool
great-
Titan. The Full Titan.
I'll remind you that these letters up at the top are the
Yep,
ones
yep,
that
yep, yep,
it
yep.
cannot be.
Yep.
This is Hangman, where I'm like adding like a
Yep.
mustache to the Hangman.
Oh,
It's getting very graphic and gory.
hold on.
It's starting to become a very hyper-realistic Hangman drawing.
Okay. My guess is gonna be Moon.
I was actually thinking moon. She did say
Okay.
moon. That's what it was.
That is insane that I
You're
didn't.
As soon as you
I
said
didn't
it.
guess that.
Dude,
It's the only thing in the sky that it possibly be.
dude. She literally,
Okay.
now that you say that, she literally goes, "Is it moon like Jackson Moon?"
Yikes,
That's what she
dude.
That's
said.
literally what she said.
Yikes.
You all get 1 XP.
I don't think we deserve it.
That is the
It
biggest.
was gonna be way more.
The biggest
You all
yikes.
get
Little
one.
Clover comes by and looks at it and says, "Moon."
That is canonically what happened now. She looked at it and said, "Oh, you're guessing words? It's something in the sky? Maybe moon." And that is what happened.
This doesn't
how do we-
say anything about
We got
the
sky.
sky.
No, but you know, like by context, the theory is that this stuff fell out of the sky
I
and
don't remember where we got this thing. We've had this thing so long, I don't remember where this puzzle came from.
I'm taking my 1 HP XP.
Oh, I thought you were saying I'm losing
I'm
one life.
also losing a life point for that.
All right.
Dude, look. As soon as you said moon, Jackson, I was. Oh man.
You're
As soon
gonna
as
make
she-
a
as soon as she-
fun game because you like puzzles. I was like, this is gonna be great.
We did
I
so
don't remember
well.
The rest of it. It was just one
Dude, we did
Yeah,
so well.
we did really
You did,
well in the
you did
rest
very
of it.
well in the rest of it. That's right.
In like the first 2 weeks, we did so well, and
You
then
did.
it just like stopped.
Okay. Seriously though, did we get this with the Cloudstone? Because I don't remember where this puzzle came
Yeah.
from.
Well,
Yeah.
Mahir found this one after he learned that you
Okay.
guys found the Cloudstone, and Sharam said, "Go talk to Mahir. He found something."
And
I
And,
completely forgot it was
Here's the
it was
Gray
involved.
Shield Professor, right?
The gargoyle.
I completely forgot it was during the same time as the Cloudstone, so I wasn't even putting that together.
I need the story Bible at this point. We've been doing this
Yes.
too long.
I'll have to get that. Anyway, you guys start marching back to your encampment. Along the way, you go on. don't have the same capacity to be shrouded like you were before, because the nature of Queen Clover's abilities are different now with her living form. And Little Clover doesn't really have access to that kind of ability yet. She never harnessed that, and she will never grow up in her current state. So she's kind of stuck and powerless in many ways. But you continue to go on. You walk and you march through, and you find the paths that you think are the accurate paths to where you're going. You eventually find the chasm where the ivy rings ivy continues to hold fast, so you can cross over that. And you realize that you are coming across soon the area where Mundor is. So, as you know, you have to pass through this, and you're preparing to do this. Are you guys doing anything in particular? Somebody had mentioned
Sneaking.
just obviously not looking that direction.
All right.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know either. I feel so
It's all
bad.
very awkward.
If he sees us, we start power walking. And I yell over my
it's like a mall kiosk.
yeah. I yell over my shoulder. We'll return for you.
3 branches up.
Yeah, palm
Try
leaves.
to do a Jedi mind trick. This is not the group you were looking for.
You get closer and closer, feeling the awkwardness of knowing that you'd have no idea how you're going to react to the situation. Eventually, you get close enough to the area that you're in the woods. You sort of slow down, Queen Clover, saying, "What? Do you sense danger?"
Something like that.
Not danger so much. Not anymore.
The danger of an awkward conversation.
You get closer and you look through the trees, and you see the portal remains, but you don't see Mundor's face. You see just these.
He's dead.
Looks a little different.
No more mun, just door.
There is a door, and it continues to sort of. There's this fleshy veil in the middle of it that continues to lightly pulsate with this sort of infernal orange color behind it on the other side.
I don't ever want to hear those words again.
And
Don't watch Stranger Things.
and the area right around this, there are scorch marks. There is broken earth, and it's all around the bottom, around the sides. There's scorch marks of trees nearby. There's no fire. But the place where you remember Mundor's head being, it's just all scabbed over, and it's just this portal standing there in the middle of this glade.
So he's dead.
I don't guess it's too much to hope that he somehow escaped the portal.
But he was the portal. He is the portal.
Do you think
He's
that?
dead.
Do you think that his?
It was a hope beyond hope kind of question.
Do you think that his flesh grew over his head and suffocated him?
Well, we don't need to speculate on details.
I think that's a great assumption. Unfortunately, I don't know what to do here.
I'm gonna go.
I guess
Maybe we
up-
could
I guess
just
I-
try to put this thing out of its misery.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
hope
up
for the
to the
best.
portal.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna look for his head, where his head was, and see if it's still there underneath, and try to cut it open and see if his head is there.
Take your knife and you start doing this and then digging around, but you don't find anything like that. As you're cutting in, you don't find any evidence that there's ears or eyes or a head or a nose inside this.
Mundor's definitely gonna try to come kill us now.
So this was your friend, is what I'm understanding.
More of an
Yeah.
acquaintance.
I thought I was friends with him.
Well, I've seen how you go
until
after. I've seen how you go after your friends to try to save them. So I am assuming that, therefore, it must have really annoyed all of you.
He was an unfortunate means to an end.
Noted.
It wasn't great.
We were kind of surprised that this happened. It wasn't what we thought was going to happen.
I didn't know what was going on until it happened, and I still don't really know what's going on.
There's a strong smell of sulfur in the air here.
Yeah, Osin,
Sorry,
you want to explain?
This portal is, as far as we know, a one-way passage from... What is the realm called? Is it
so? Some people say the pit as a general description.
What would Osin call it?
Yeah, you'd either call it the pit or you would call it one of the hells. There's sort of an idea that there are multiple kinds of hellscapes. But the pit is the general term for like the entire collection of all the hellscapes that exist.
This is, as far as we're concerned and as far as we can tell, a one-way door from the pit.
One way is in things could come out but not go in.
We should probably
Ostensibly,
try to
yes.
close it.
What was that, Killen?
I said ostensibly yes.
Very well. And Queen Clover takes her spear and starts just trying to pierce into this thing. And no matter how much she does, it just immediately starts scabbing back over. And Born of the Thunder, well, Taranis says, well, I would offer to shoot this with lightning. If I could.
If I had any.
With that thought, I take one of the yellow drake wasp fingers and stab it with that.
You
What's the
try to
yellow
do
one do
that,
again?
and it sort of sparks a little bit.
Electricity.
A little bit of electric spark just sort of comes out in just a moment there, but it just sort of leaves a burn scar, and then that heals over.
So I'm hearing as I shouldn't use the poison singer on him.
There's
Or
all sorts of things you
poison.
could try.
Dude, I don't know what to do on him.
It looks as if here, if you look at the ground, these spots, these burn marks, this earth.
Who's
that has
talking
been-
right now?
This is Queen Clover. This earth that has been torn asunder. Someone has already tried, with great effort and magic perhaps, to destroy this, but it seems no one has been successful.
I bet that was our boy.
Another friend of yours.
Could have
Yeah.
been the door,
Damon.
Emin.
Themin.
Damon. Cull Whisker. Did you come up with that name, or did you just say, give me a name of a wizard?
I just made that one up. Pretty sure.
Wow.
To not put a darker spin on this, could those burn marks around the base of it be other terrible things coming out of it?
I suppose that is entirely possible as well. Regardless,
I hope not.
we should note
Hey, do
this
we
on
have
your
that
map.
shackle mirror? Can we just put the shackle mirror up against the portal so when
You don't
things
have the
come
shackle
out,
mirror.
they go into it?
You
Where
learned
is
that the Knock Knocks traded Born of Thunder for the shackle mirror.
The Mirror of
Oh, that's right.
Elkos.
Yeah. So, no, not in your possession. There are some Knock Knocks out there somewhere with it.
I said we get that and just put the mirror up against the portal so anything that comes out immediately is imprisoned in the mirror.
I like that logic.
By that logic, you might as well just put a spike trap right on the other side.
What's a spike trap?
It's a trap full of spikes.
Oh. I thought it was going to be more elaborate than that.
You need nothing so elaborate to kill.
Mm.
Do you really have
I mean,
no
we're talk-
tacticians in your culture?
Like I said, I'm not a warrior, so I
Honest.
don't really deal with this kind of stuff. We've already
You put
discussed
words
My
together.
thought was that a spike trap would be easily filled up, and that to deal with powerful beings coming out of one realm, we could use a different magical realm.
Yes, you could feed another realm with creatures from one where creatures are
We open up another
twisted
portal.
into completely different things. Something worse. Seems very wise indeed.
But they're not here.
And perhaps we should not be here either.
Yeah, I start walking away from
That's fine,
the
Kevin.
mun door.
So you go on.
The
and
artist formerly known as
you know
Monkey.
that you're a few hours away from the encampment. So as you guys continue to march, eventually you get closer and closer until you're right in the area that you know you're looking for, and you find that outside of the cave, it looks a little different.
He's dead.
It looks a little different. Let me find my. There we go. Find this. It's loading. It's loading. There we go. Okay. I will force everybody's perspective. Okay.
Are we on Owlbear?
On Owlbear, yep. You find that there are pillars of chopped down trees that have been erected up around the outside. There's a large courtyard that's been constructed, and the gate. There's a gate that's been constructed. You can tell right away, Killen, that the nature of this construction. This was absolutely your people. The Titanians built this, and you realize that they've been hard at work and creating something here. Yes, Luminous.
Are there mirrored versions of us?
Are there mirror versions of you?
Yeah.
You guys.
Y'all didn't go in the mirror.
You didn't go in the mirror.
Well, I asked because there's
There's
Oh, yeah.
in the cave and also outside the cave.
That was my mistake. I accidentally.
I didn't. Hey, I was just asking before we got into this.
That's a good question. It's because I
not that
didn't
you know of,
finish my.
because you can't see above the gate.
Hey, that's a fair statement. It could, but I mean, I was just curious.
That was a fair statement, actually. You were like, "Hold on."
Hold up,
Why are there
let's not
multiple
go in
of
there.
us?
Right.
I'm
so-
like, I know we're all good looking and all that.
There we go.
but
Now you're outside the gate. But as you go in, this gate is open, and as you step inside, you see that they've sort of got a dirt area down here, right there. That's been sort of cleared out from grass and whatnot. There's a bunch of logs, there are a bunch of rocks, there are a bunch of barrels way over in the end, and there's a pyre that looks like it's being set up so that a sort of a bonfire type thing could be built here. And what are you guys doing as you continue?
And nobody is out here. They're all in the cave.
Yeah, and you see it just goes right up to the stone wall that remains. So
Did we
you know,
remove the ivy?
you can decide if you. So it wasn't ivy that was here. It's the stone wall from Osen's gauntlet.
I thought I covered
Somebody
it.
else's gauntlet. I think it was Luminous.
You used the ivy to cross the chasm.
it's my. It was my gauntlet that I left with the.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Luminous.
The Taco.
Luminous. That's right.
I look over to Killian and go, no, since he knows this, I assume he told us this looks like his people's work. Are there going to be any traps trying to get through this?
As you look around, Kellen, this almost looks more like a celebration type ground that's been built, that's partially defensively built, but also you can tell this looks like somebody's preparing for some kind of celebratory thing here.
Do you
And
think they're celebrating our return?
The gate was open as well, which is odd.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. I don't think it was anybody's birthday.
Maybe they were. Luminous jokingly says, maybe they're just excited for our return.
Osen wipes a single tear away because everybody forgot it was his birthday actually today. but he continues toward the stone door, kind of watching, confused at why anyone would be celebrating right now.
All right, you guys get up to the stone.
We do the special knock that we
You do
arranged.
the special knock, and
Knock.
it does part in exactly a way that allows you all to enter, and you see your people on the other side as you you cross through the doorway and the door frame here, and it's Otago that lets you in, and you see that it looks like everybody's still here. They're still in the cave, hiding in the cave right now.
Who is that next to the woman?
And
Sorry.
Do we see Mundor?
you, as you're walking in and you look around at just everybody and and your eyes are adjusting, you do see way over in the corner, sitting on the ground, is the head of Mundor with a tiny little baby body. That is
Yes.
that it's basically like an infant's body with Mundor's head.
This is even more awkward.
This is the worst.
This is much worse than seeing him in the portal.
I turn around and leave, and y'all just stop me.
You leave. I leave. I race you to
we
the
didn't
door.
do anything. We just happened to be there, and not know what was happening.
Otago invites you all in, and he takes his gauntlet off and hands it back to you, Luminous, and says, "Glad you could all make it back, and in one piece, and with company. Although, one of you looks a little different." And Taranis says, "It's a long story, but I'm sure we'll have time to fill you in." So you're all in here. There's a lot going on. Everybody seems very involved with one another, talking right now. So I'm going to give you each a chance to tell me what you go do.
I look at Osen and say, should we talk to Mundor or not?
Since Osen has walked through the door, his eyes have been wide, and he has not taken his eyes off of that corner where lies Mundor the baby and the woman that's supposed to be a devil queen.
Do you guys think Luminous would have noticed this, or would he have just been busy trying to get his gauntlet back and go and talk to Mac?
He goes
the first
straight
thing
for the
Luminous saw was
dog.
Mac.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think that I would have done that, or do you think you would have said so, or you would have like bumped me and pointed?
Honestly, I think Luminous would have made a beeline for Mac before we could have even tried.
I was surprised he even got his gauntlet back before talking to Mac.
He missed being able to talk this stuff.
I gave you your permissions over your tokens now.
No,
Side-eyeing each other like, what do we do?
I think I just go and pet Mag briefly, and then I walk back over, and I see you guys really conflicted. I'm like, "What's wrong, guys?" Because obviously, like, my back is facing Mundor, and I have no idea what's going on.
I love how Kyle's thing was, "Who is that?"
Who is that? He actually yells that as he walks through.
That's what starts on this. He actually yells this in the cave.
Hey, that was out of character outside of this universe.
Who is that?
What?
I had to zoom
Osen does
in
a
so
spit take.
But seriously, Luminous is literally with his back face to it, has no idea that Mundor is there at this point, and is like, "Why are you guys acting this way?"
And I turn Luminous around to look in the direction of Mundor. Baby Mundor.
All right, hang on. All right. I have two decisions to make. Let's see what I roll. Where her roll? He does not handle it well. It is in complete shock, and
He yells, makes it really obvious we have to go deal with it now.
no, doesn't yell, but he goes.
It's like,
He jumps.
I don't know what it was. And he goes,
he says, "Bruh."
bruh, like,
I'm
why
gonna.
is his head on that baby body? It's kind of weird. Also, how is he here?
I'm gonna
Do
go
we
ahead
talk
and.
to him, or do we just, we grab his head, baby body thing, and just throw him out to the knock-knocks?
You want You want to kill him again?
No. I'm joking because I don't know what to do and I'm freaking out.
Osen is also freaking out, but he doesn't know what else to do except for go straight to figure out what's going on.
I guess we're
Clear
all
some
going.
way.
Follow Osen and like donkey kick Luminous to follow us.
You didn't have to get me to follow you. As soon as I started going over there and I realized that he was there, it made sense.
He looks up. He's sitting in a tiny little. It's like a
Luminous sits on
crafted.
him.
It's basically somebody crafted a tiny little stroller because he can't use his legs out of canvas and wood.
Why did you do this?
Whoa. If it isn't my old friends.
This is worse than me betraying all my friends for a devil lady.
Glad to see you.
That's right next to him.
And so the woman is just sort of here sitting on a crate looking around very nervously at everyone. Well, I didn't know if you'd show up again.
Mundor,
What'd you find out there? Was it worth it?
how are you alive? Did someone cut your head off of the portal?
Well, yeah, that's actually exactly what happened, mate. So I told Thimin I'm not going to live this way. You got to cut my head off and we'll figure it out. You remember? You know who gave me that idea? Luminous. You did when you said, hey, if we cut your head off, what's going to happen to you? And I said, I don't know. Never happened. So I said, it's the time to try, my friend. And Thimin did it for me. Then we tried to destroy it. Did not work, let me tell you. But here I am. And I'm growing not quite at the accelerated rate that I'm used to, as you can see. I've got something very important to ask you, though, by the way.
I'm going to stop you for a second. Say Luminous is having intrusive thoughts of just wanting to pick him up.
All right.
Like a little
Just rock him back and forth.
yes, try to calm his nerves. Or maybe his own, or Luminous's nerves of having to deal with the situation.
It's not that I feel as if you left me for dead out there. Not exactly. But there's one thing at least you can do for me.
Here's 15 gold.
Actually, I need somebody to change me.
Anything you need, Mundor. We owe you that.
Roll a 5, so it doesn't have to be me.
I summon.
I think. Wait, I got it.
Wait, I really want to hear what Killen is about to say. Hold on.
Oh, I was gonna say I was gonna summon one of my totems of nature's balm and give it to him to see if that helps accelerate his growth.
Oh, I thought you meant for like diaper rash.
No.
I thought you meant as a rattle to play with.
So you go ahead and you summon this.
While he's summoning this, I'm gonna summon something as well.
All right.
I'm gonna summon an elemental minion and force it to change its change.
What
diaper.
What does it look
Hey.
I assume that it's just made out. It's just a rock.
So it's just like a little rock guy.
Just
Yeah,
a
it's a little rock guy, and I'm like,
little rock
and I
guy.
tell him to go chain, and I can control him. So
Just
I have
a little
to change the diaper, so
golem.
we don't actually have to touch him.
All right, hold on. Let me add the minion to this
We're
page.
just killing the session, guys.
Because I feel like one of the other elements right now would not be the best case scenario for Mundor, like a little fire.
Don't
Yeah.
give him a fire minion.
Probably
or a
not.
water minion or an air minion.
I don't know. Water minion might be nice and cleansing.
All right, this is just the generic one for elemental, but I'll use this one, even though it looks a little like wind.
You have a Boudra's butt paste elemental.
Yep. All right. So you have your elemental here.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Move her out of the way.
She says, "I think I'm gonna go over here," and you do this, and now he has this little rattle that can try to accelerate his healing potentially. And he says, "Well, mate, well, I can't say that. Sorry, I can't hold things for very long. Maybe it's soothing. Don't know. Anyway, And so he keeps talking to you as this thing is like using its stone little fingers to like change his diaper. He keeps talking to you. And he says, "Right, so what'd you find out there? Did you get Born of Thunder back?"
We did. He is a little rough for. He's in rough shape, but
Oh, sounds terrible.
he's
Lennor's like, I can relate.
We tried to come back and save you.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He didn't know we tried to sneak back.
You at least left Thimmon for me, so that's good news, mate. Been talking to your new womanly friend, by the way.
Womanly friend.
She you might want to have a talking to her as well. She's quite out of sorts there. Doesn't remember a thing. I know what I remember. She came out of me, but it's been a weird time for everybody. So let's just call the past. And eventually, by the way, remember, you got to add that money to my ledger. And maybe, considering that I'm not going to be in commission for a bit, you just remember what I'd done for you. Made sure that you weren't cursed and all. That all worked very well. Seems like everybody stood up their legs.
Mundar, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
Well, when I grow up, I hope to be like I always do.
I was talking about the baby part of you.
I will make sure that you get more than your fair share of gold for what you've done, friend. And I appreciate your mercy and understanding. And I'm glad to see you alive.
Yeah, well, eventually I'll get out of this. All right. So, all right. So you guys individually, each, just because he's at the top of the list here, Luminous. What does Luminous do?
At this point?
Yeah. Who do you want to talk to or engage with, or what do you want to do now? Now that you're back.
I can't remember his name. The guy that I was working on the
Mahir
puzzle with. Yeah, where's he at?
It's right over here.
Yeah, so I'm gonna walk over to him and discuss it with him.
Ah, so you have returned. Yeah, very good, very good. Well, I am so close, so very, very close to figuring this out, I do believe.
The tablet? Is that what he's saying?
Yes, the tablet, of course. What else is there?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yes, I wasn't sure you'd come back alive.
Yeah, me either. But
well,
I completed it with some help.
So what is it? What does it say? Tell me, boy.
How about this? How about you take a guess?
My best guess so far has been wood.
Have you thought about moon?
No, it's so obvious.
It is.
I can't believe we didn't see this before.
I know. I'm as shocked as you are.
Alright, I'm out.
So
Morgan, are you just enjoying taunting us in this
he snatches this out of your hand and looks at it and says, "Oh, no, surely it cannot be.
I'm such an idiot. Why didn't I think of this 3 episodes ago?"
Goodness gracious. Well, very well. I'm glad we could figure this out together. Let's see. Okay. What does this mean, though? Oh, what could this mean? Moon Titan. Oh, dear. Goodness gracious. I'll have to think about this. Actually, I think I've heard that there are... I've been thinking about this. You see, look over there. And he points in this direction. Do you see that absolutely scrumptious giant of a woman over there?
No, I don't see a scrumptious giant woman over there. Because Luminous is looking at her and like, man, she's only got one eye. I don't know about this. So like, I see a tall woman over there, but I don't see anyone that's scrumptious.
Well, to each his own. You have very odd ways of looking at the world, I'm aware. Anyway, that beautiful specimen. She is her entire species are a blend of essentially half Cyclops people. And I have been too nervous to talk to her. But I've heard rumblings and things that she is actually a kind of Titan Slayer kind of person. Apparently, many of these people are. And oh, I just realized that I've got. She's the Cryptusian. Ignore everything that I just said about her being a Titan Slayer. He says, I haven't talked to her the entire time we've been here. We've been on the same team the entire time. I certainly have not forgotten that. But I've heard some rumblings that she actually has dealt with some research into titanic creatures. Of course, if this is a moon titan, it could be anyone. Now that we know it's a titan, we've known that for a while now, but I wanted to make sure that nobody stole our progress. We could talk to the Titanians about their knowledge, but I have a sneaky suspicion that she might be someone worth talking to. If you would like to introduce me to her.
Yeah, you want me to?
Absolutely, I do. Yes, but hold on. Yeah. yes, of course.
All right, let's go. I'll introduce you.
Okay. So I'm gonna assume that you can choose for me if you like, if you know Jamila at all.
Yeah, I'll say that I know her.
Okay. Tell me one.
We've had a few interactions.
One thing that you know about her.
She has one eye.
That's true. I was gonna say that we've discussed elemental magic with her being a battle sage and me having elemental abilities. So she has we have some common knowledge in that together that we've discussed.
Okay. All right. So
I don't know if that actually works, but I'm gonna go with it.
All right. You approach, and Mahir is right behind you. And she turns and says, "Oh, hey, Luminous. Glad to see you made it back. We hadn't talked in a while."
I know. It feels like years, but I think it's only been a few days. This place be crazy.
It has been. And she's much taller than you. She's sort of looking down to talk to you, but
yeah.
But she's it's very bubbly, bright personality, and
yeah.
So how is it out there?
To be honest with you, it's not great, but
that's the impression I've been getting.
Yeah. I feel like every day that we're here, we get a better understanding of what we're actually up against. Now, that could just be a complete lie and me just wanting to believe that, but I'm pretty confident that I'm starting to get a good grasp of this area around us. Maybe not the island as a whole, but the area we're immediately around.
Interesting. Yes. Well, cool. They have me, I don't know why, but we've basically just been on guard duty for a long time, I guess, because, we lost everybody the first few days, and
yeah.
And I would think that we would be out there helping with these scouting parties and everything, but it's a few of us do go. A few of us have been going out and doing things, but I don't think we've been traveling as long and as far as you guys have been.
Yeah, I don't know how I ended up in this situation, but here we are.
Well, if you're the one retriever we have, that's probably why.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm just trying to be humble and all. Anyway, Killian, do you want to fight?
And Mahir says,
I'm nowhere near
that. I know. I was about to get to it. I was actually about to get to it before Killian laughed. I was actually about to. I was like, anyway, there's somebody I don't know if you've met. He's a part of the Cryptusians like us, or he's part of the Seekers of Cryptus like us. And then I just kind of gesture to him to introduce himself.
He steps forward and she reaches out with a hand and says, "Well, I haven't met you yet." "Oh, no, of course not. I've been very busy." And he reaches out a hand, and her hand is so much larger than his, but she shakes it there, and they begin to talk a little bit, pleasantries, and then as you sort of nudge him, reminding him that he was going to talk about the titanic nature of things. He says, "Oh,
Yeah.
I was wondering. Do you happen to do you know anything about moon titans or a moon titan? Perchance I'd heard someone mention recently that you might have that kind of interest that falls in the interest of the Titanians as a whole." And she says, "Oh, well, yeah, my people, we're Titanic people, at least in ancestry. But I can tell you what I think that I remember from some of those stories about the Moon Titan from the first age." "Yes, please, indulge us." So the legends say that during the first stage, when the gods betrayed the Titans, warfare between each race was really rampant, and in the course of those battles, the Moon Titan, this singular entity of some kind, he either fell in love with the Sea Titan, or perhaps demanded that she join him in some kind of marriage-like union. Some stories say that the Moon Titan intentionally imbued his power, or some of his power, into the Sea Titan. And other stories say that she actually stole power from him. But regardless, the Moon Titan and the Sea Titan have some kind of bond. And they have since the beginning of the first age. And eventually, when each of the Titans was killed for the first time, the father of the gods was displeased with all of his children, and of course that's when he declared that the spirits of the slain Titans would continue to live, be imbued into the lands and the natural elements, and sometimes even rising again to new life every few centuries or millennia. But in the case of the Moon Titan, it's believed that every time he manifested into new life, he was actually weaker than the last time because of the power that he gave to the Sea Titan. So I don't know if that's to be believed or not. It's a legend. But when the gods created the races known as giants, the Titans performed secret blood rituals to muddy those bloodlines and removed any divine ties that those giants had. So therefore, giants, even though they are originally created as divine things, they were maladapted by the schemes of the Titans, and they became more titanic creatures. So it's believed that when that happened, the Moon Titan was responsible for the creation of silver giants, if I remember right. And yeah, so silver giants associated with the sky, the wind, and even magic itself. Is that what you were looking for?
Yes. And goodbye.
And the
I'm
here sort of
standing there.
shuffles away here, and
I
not sure where he goes.
I look over at her and say, "Thank you for this information. It was greatly needed." And also, he's a little awkward, but he's a pretty great guy. Wink, wink, and I walk away.
Oh, okay.
Does she wink
All
back?
right, so
How does she wink?
she
Does
doesn't.
she-
She
does
doesn't
she
understand the
blink?
concept of wink.
Yeah, Luminous is like, what? He can
Something
figure it out
wrong with your
himself.
eye?
But he
Alright,
can
so-
figure it out himself.
So as Luminous, you begin to walk away for your own other intentions. Osen and Killen, whichever order you would like. What do each of you do?
We're gonna walk over to Mac and pet Mac while
that
this is
makes
going
sense.
on.
I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, so Osen can.
Okay.
if you want to-
I think you need to talk to the
I'm gonna go over to the woman. I'm gonna go over to Zoe Red Zoe Saldana.
He really is.
Natiri. Evil Natiri.
That's
Is she
fantastic.
just sitting? Just still looking
She's just sort of
confused?
leaning against the boxes there. She's holding one arm, looking around. She nods to you. And Hi, it's a nice place your people have here.
We're trying to make it as comfortable for everyone as possible. Have they been treating you well?
Yeah, you're right. They were friendly people to be found here. I don't remember anything, and I haven't remembered anything new. But everybody's been friendly. From what I understand, this island is a very dangerous place. All I really know is that you were shipwrecked here, I guess, and everything that's happened here, there's Fae everywhere, and they're killing everyone, and then you found some kind of portal, and I came through it.
And your memories start with you coming through the portal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know my name.
What did Thimmon say when you both arrived back at the cave? Did he tell people where you came from?
No, I haven't told anyone that. He told me that it would be wiser for me to just tell everyone I'm an amnesiac and I must be a survivor from somewhere else on the island. And so that's easy enough for me to say because that's what it seems like to me anyway. So I haven't mentioned the portal. Mundor, I've been spending some time with him. Just Mundor and Thimmon, really. Some people have tried to be kind and talk to me, but I think they could tell how nervous I'm feeling. I'm wondering if people are getting suspicious of me.
Well, I'm sure there's pity for your amnesia, but also confusion on where you actually came from, if they are able to trust you, or if they may be keeping a close eye on you in case you may be faking your amnesia.
Why would I fake my amnesia?
I don't answer her question, and instead I say, if this is some sort of test, or you're intentionally torturing me,
what?
I need to know, is this a game to you? And I try to speak with her, like through whatever magic was binding us before. Since she's on the island, she should react in some way, maybe. If I just
You kind of
yeah, I communicate and I say telepathically, like, are you or are you not the Barbed Queen?
you try to send that thought out, but even the sensation is not as it's ever been. You're not sure if your thoughts are actually outgoing in that way. So before, just remind me, on your character sheet, do you have the telepathy ability, or have you been relying on their sort of telepathic network for that?
No, I don't have any kind of extra anything.
So you say those things to her, and then you try to mentally say it, and she looks at you, not understanding. And says, what do you mean, torture? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know who I am? You say that like you know me. And she sort of like steps back just a little bit.
I don't know what would be better for you. For you to know who you were. For you to begin again. Be ignorant of the facts. You can be whoever you want at this point.
You see Thimmon approaching. He seems to have noticed that you're over there, and he's sort of quickly walking this way.
I allow it.
I'm glad to see it, Mark.
You made it. It's only slightly worse for wear by the looks of things, but you got your friend back. Well,
We retrieved Born of Thunder successfully, and we're glad that he survived. But he's in rough shape.
seems it. As is the other fellow that I brought along. But that seems to be going around. So, he nods to her and nods to you. In a bit, let's talk, if you don't mind. But, are you doing alright, lass? Yeah. Yeah. You just take whatever time you need, alright? And remember that I'm right here if you need anything. And Mandor's there. We'll acclimate you slowly to people, alright? Would you like to... Do you want to sit down? Is this important? No. I'll go over here. And she looks at you, sort of suspiciously. Obviously, getting this inclination that you know some things that she doesn't. With them and waits and then looks at you and says, I've been paying close attention to her. Because, like you, I think like you, perhaps I don't trust her either. But I did put it in stasis, whatever was going to be growing inside of her, but I've learned more about it by observing her. And he looks around to make sure nobody's really nearby. I think there's a relic bound inside of her. It's part of her, somehow. I don't know how. But I've studied lots of relics over time, and I think I know what this one is. Specifically.
Is it something that can be removed?
I don't know about that.
Something that can be contained permanently?
Maybe, but perhaps I should tell you what I know about it first. There's legends of something called the Crown of Domination. And I'm pretty sure it's either inside of her or somehow it is her.
It is her. What does that mean?
It's hard to separate as I'm looking at her, where her life and her body begins and where the crown begins, separate from it. It's like she's got all the characteristics of a living, breathing creature, with flesh and blood and spirit and mind, but also the characteristics of a powerful, magical relic. I'm not sure what to make of it just yet. But if it is what I think it is, the legends say that there is this warlord in Estuary who used the Crown of Domination to create a hive mind of thousands and thousands of people and lead them against their will to fight against their own kin with the simple thoughts in his head. I don't know if it's the same thing, but this, you can call it a signature, a magical signature. It's something I recognize from my studies.
If it's something that begins to creep towards the surface, will there be warning signs? Will you be able to detect if it's going to become a large issue for us?
I understand this isn't an exact science, but whatever I put in stasis might very well be that very thing that I'm talking about. But I don't know for sure. I don't know if this infernal thing that was in stasis is the crown or something else. I don't know anything about this situation. other than what I've shared with you. I just want you to know. For one, because like I said before, I think you made some troubling decisions for the benefit of survival. I don't think that makes you a bad person. I think that makes you a survivor. And I think that you're someone worth being on the good side of, no matter who you will show me that you are. Told you that my goal is to get home to my family. Whether you're good or evil, that doesn't matter to me as long as I could ally myself with someone who can help me get there. But that thing inside of her, part of her, whatever it is, that's tremendous power. And dangerous to anyone who is opposed to it. That's for certain.
Maybe best to stay on her good side as well.
Been trying to be a friend to her, make sure that she's comfortable here. Partially for that reason, but also I'm not so sure she's faking this.
I don't believe she is either. I'm trying to decide if she should live in ignorance, if that will help in any way to suppress whatever it is you have in stasis, or if she deserves to know who she was before.
It's the only way to determine what would be the best thing, is to continue to observe her and see who she seems to be in this state.
I want to trust that people can change for my own sake. But I appreciate your discretion and I appreciate your help with the situation.
We're all trying to survive. I appreciate that more than anyone. Okay. So, Killen.
At the moment, I'm just happy to be back.
He's prancing around the cave.
So I see different.
There are people that are going to intend to talk to you guys. I'm just giving you the opportunity to use a little freedom.
Yeah. Is there? I see just different groupings of people. Is there like a central bonfire or anything going on here, or are there like several things going on?
Yeah, there's a bunch of sort of tents and things sort of set up in here just for a little bit of privacy for each person. There's no fires in here because they've intentionally not been lighting fires in the cave with no ventilation here, but they've been.
It seems like you kill yourself by accident.
They've been using little sort of magical devices for heat or light and or just usually like little small spells. People having floating lights in the area, things like that, especially the Carthusians. But everybody's sort of just mingling.
Gotcha. Well, I don't have like a pressing mission I need to talk to somebody about right now. I need to, continue my quest for the weapon and such, but I know what that is. So knowing that everybody else kind of has their own people they need to talk to, I just kind of go to a group of people that I know people from, and get to mingling and just enjoying being back around my people a little bit.
As you're
able to breathe for the first time in a few days.
Okay, so as you're sort of mingling around, you're sort of grasping people's arms. You've come back like you used to do with people back home, where you came back from a scouting trip or whatever you were doing, a war band, and everybody survived, or you had survived at least with some others, and clasping arms and giving your greetings, and you come and do that with Hunts in the mounds. He was happy to see you, and as he moves on, you see that Otago, who's not a part of your people, but he is somebody that ended up here, is talking to two people that you do recognize that you're surprised to see here. Father Raoul from the Church of Arcosia and Carlos Lumenvel from the Church of Arcosia are over here. They've apparently made it to the cave.
I'm especially surprised to see them together. They were not really on
Dude, Carlos is such a
seeing
great
eye to
mustache.
eye last time we talked to them, correct?
You know that what you knew about them is that they were like brothers in the war, basically, in one of the wars that have happened, but they were definitely not seeing eye to eye on a lot of things, and Father Raoul was very concerned about the path that Carlos was on.
Cool.
Do you want to talk to anybody in particular? If not, I'll choose somebody to approach you.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Not at this moment. I think I eventually need to talk to Runs with the Deer about something, but I'm not sure what yet.
I think Gavin should come talk to you.
Who?
I don't know who Gavin is, but
He's one of the survivors from the mirror area.
I feel like I think he wants to come talk to you.
So I had already picked somebody right before you said that. But Killen, as you see Carlos, he sees you, and he looks over and he waves you over, gestures you to approach. It's good to see that you made it out there. You've gone on quite a journey. Did you run into any of those wretches?
More than a few. We certainly had our work cut out for us.
And did you manage to kill any?
We did.
Good. Good. It's about time more people knew that it is possible to kill these things. I killed a few myself on the way here. I thought it was impossible.
Okay.
They keep coming back and coming back, but remove a head, leave it in the sun, nail it to a tree, whatever you have to do. These things can die. And Father Raoul says, I'm going to leave you to talk together, but Killen, was it?
Yes, Father.
You're not of the church. You don't have to address me as Father. I'm a little uncomfortable when people of my own group do that as well. But customs, of course. If you don't mind, I'd like to talk to you and your allies a bit later, if we have an opportunity.
I'd be glad to.
Thank you, Killen. He steps over here. He goes somewhere. Carlos looks again at you. He says, even here, he thinks that he has to babysit me. Regardless, you and I have some things to talk about. We want to move against the knock-knocks, and soon. You had said before that you might be interested in doing something like this with us. Is this still true?
I think. All right. Out of character. I'm making sure I'm not gonna say something that's gonna come out and bite me in the butt. So, remind me, kind of what the plan we have with Queen Clover is.
You know that Queen Clover just wants to kill Grammy Grins.
Yeah.
And she does think that killing the knock-knocks would be something that would help with that. She also seems very confident in her own abilities in general to do something like that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things you think is common between her and Carlos, is that they are very full of themselves and their idea that they are effective fighters.
I thought so. I just wanted to make sure I didn't have that backwards at all. All right. Back in game. Yes, I think that is not only possible and a good thing, but would be extremely beneficial to the things that we need to happen on this island so that we can be in a better position to get home safely. If you see the woman over there by the door, she is a friend that we made on our quest, and she has the intention of also moving against the knock knocks and their leader. She may be of interest and help to you.
I like that we just abandoned Queen Clover by herself at the door and didn't
She's
introduce
over
her.
with. She's over with Taranis, and she's obviously they're obviously talking. They're talking with one another, and she seems to be
That's
very observant of everything here. Great, good. This is excellent news, my friend. With that, if she is a capable warrior, she seems to be based on her outfitting, she and you and I and your two other friends and Otago here, we could do a lot of damage to these creatures. We could wipe these things out.
It is possible. I think the biggest unknown at this point is a matter of numbers. We have no idea how many of those things exist on this island, and I don't think we should go in unprepared.
Maybe so. But we will be marching soon anyway. We've made the decision. It will happen. We are not going to wait for these things to continue to grow in their power and knowledge of us. We have to fight and fight hard, but we will.
Have you say we are marching soon. Have you gathered a team for this?
Just those who we've mentioned. These cowards here. This cave full of warriors that don't want to be warriors. They don't deserve to call themselves what they think they are. He spits on the ground. Those who will come with us, and that will be enough. If we find some others along the way, very well.
It seems you've made a plan without talking to any you are in league with. Be careful, my friend.
My plan was made by the blood of all the fallen. I am bound to this. And anyone who has any respect or honor will join in the destruction of these wretches. They cannot be allowed to continue this rampage that they have brought upon our people. I know you are an effective warrior, and so are your friends. I've seen you fight, you have seen me fight. Together we took the head of the gardener. We killed many more things there. But I have grown in knowledge of what this place is. I know more now than I knew before, so I am more prepared than I have ever been.
What have you learned?
I have learned that these things can die, and they can feel pain. And now I know how to inflict it. They are sensitive to the sun. We've known this. But I've been doing some work on my own. My weapon, the things that I have gathered here. We can bring the sun to them.
I'm I don't say anything to necessarily betray this, but I am hesitant to answer him and with anything specific because there's just something about his bloodlust and radicalism that is off-putting to Killen.
It's off-putting to most people.
And so I'm just like, well, we will continue to discuss tactics and make the best decisions. I believe Osint would be a wise person to talk to about future plans.
Time for talking is far gone. But I will hear him out if he has any additional ideas that might serve our purposes. But know this, the reckoning is coming for these creatures. I'll leave you to it. And as you, Narutogo nods at you and says, "You're speaking wisely. Thanks for talking to us. We'll talk to you again soon." And as you go this way and everybody is starting to sort of depart, I realize that for the sake of time, I'm going to speed some of this up a little bit. You end up, just by the circumstances of where you all are sort of coalesce in the same area at some point in the cave. And you can see that there are many people that sort of invite you to come talk with them later. Osint, Sharam is very interested in talking to you. Runs with the Deer is very interested in talking to Killen. And Sharam is also interested in talking to you, Luminous. But as you are going around, and it's getting a little later, Rises with the Sun comes up specifically over toward Killen, as you're all here, and says, "Champion, it's time. You didn't think you were going to go so many days without us celebrating your new title. Tonight, not tonight, but earlier than night proper, a little later in the day, we're gathering out in the courtyard we've made. This place has been constructed with titanian labor, titanian hands, because you are getting the celebration of this rite that you have passed. There will be drinking, there will be competition, there will be scald songs, and each of you is being honored, but of course, Killen, it is your honor for which we do this. We will drink, we will dance, we will sing, we will compete, and if you are so inclined, we will all take revelry in women as well. But this time, this is soon to happen.
Maybe if they're so inclined to do that.
Bring yourself in.
Sexy, Morgan.
Be ready. This is going to be perhaps one of the first good things that has happened here. And we are going to keep our spirits up because that is the way of Titania.
Killen's face lights up. I raise my war scythe and my bow and woo woo!
All right.
Osint also lets out a
Thank you,
woo-woo.
Elder. I'm excited.
So, that's where we're going to leave it for now. You guys can each get 14 XP.
I've read fantasy before. This party's gonna get crashed by I just know it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, actually.
That put us at 230.
Yeah. Just a reminder,
It'll be a
Luminous.
plot twist if we don't get wrecked.
Yeah. Luminous has a message for Otago next time. as well. Don't forget.
I did forget.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm reminding you now.
I'll write it down in my notes too.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, cool. All right, so we had a sort of a no combat. Had a little more humor in this game than normal, so that was nice. You got to change a diaper. So just so you know, Kyle, this is the true D&D experience. Where you go from like murdering somebody and like curb stomping them in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
For the next session, you're changing the diaper of your friend who's grown a baby.
Who you
body.
sacrificed.
This really is the nature of most D&D experiences for people.
This was fantastically awkward all the way around.
It really was.
Morgan, I sent you a couple things, and
Okay.
One of them that you laughed at is a thing that says when the new player proposes their first war crime at the table.
I want you to know I'm proud of you. It's Mr. Rogers.
So proud of yes.
Yeah.
I saw this one. It said, Dungeon Master, you guys want to make a party of all monks and bard multi-class? What would that even look like? And it's just...
I can't wait for our gifts right after this one.
Oh yeah, I've already
There's
got
so
a couple
many.
in mind for sure.
All right. So, thanks for playing. I'm gonna be gone next week. I'm gonna be joining my wife in Florida for a little time. But then the week after,
Good call.
potentially, you guys will be having babies. So
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll see.
Yeah.
Might be a break for a little bit.
Yeah,
If it needs to happen, that's fine.
That works. Me too.
So yeah,
I'm gonna
next.
hop off. I'm ready to go to bed, so.
Yeah.
See you
All right,
guys.
later, Kyle.
See you, man.
Later,
Thanks for
Kyle.
playing.
Yeah, our adjusted due date is the 21st, so next Friday.
Full moon.
Yeah, I guess y'all are still shooting at the 27th. Is that correct?
Yeah, but my bet is the 21st because of the full moon.
Yeah. Okay.
It would be
Is that
amazing.
also the solstice?
Is it?
I mean, it's a full moon, so I don't know.
Well,
I don't
maybe
know
the
if it is.
22nd.
Oh.
If it was a full moon and the solstice, I'm gonna have the most powerful child born this
Good games, guys.
Good games.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing, guys. Thanks for
Thank you,
engaging
Morgan.
with
Yeah, thank you.
the silliness of this one. I
Love
liked it though. You guys are. I feel like you're in a good position to start really just making your own paths here. So, all right. Good night. Love you guys.
Thanks for
See ya.
working with that curveball I threw you with.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I think it worked really well. I love the improv opportunities that happen. So I'm a big fan.
Yeah, me too.
It's really kind of where the game becomes more exciting as the storyteller to me.
Agreed.
All right, see you guys.
Cool.
Later.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.